Kalispera. I'm presenting not biofuels, but B100 FAME-based biofuel. And starting with this, it's a very familiar childhood memory of mothers and grandmothers cooking that has transformed dramatically today. Just a few years ago, probably when the environmental consciousness was lower and there were no financial benefits, the used cooking oil routinely disappeared down kitchen and floor drains without a second thought. Today, we witness an unexpected revolution. Multiple specialized entities now eagerly collect this once discarded resource from restaurants and fast food establishments, converting it to valuable UCO, used cooking oil biofuel, and UCOM, that is the methyl ester of used cooking oil. Remarkably, clean cooking oil now demands a higher price when sold for UCOM production than for its original culinary purpose. The biofuels testing journey started in 2018. At that time, we were part of the very first biofuel trial with a CMA CGM vessel. It went very well, and then we started experimenting with more interesting blends. 2019 to today, various B percentages, B10, B24, B30, B50, but remarkable is the use of B100. Mainly FAME-based, the methyl ester of used cooking oil, with vessels bunkering B100 consecutively till 2025, with vessels bunkering B100 exclusively. B100 we mean 100% sustainable fuel, no percentage of fossil fuel. 2021 to 2024 globally, more than 4 million metric tons biofuel sold with over 7,000 deliveries, and I was reading a report yesterday that biofuel is available at about 60 bunkering locations today. That is also remarkable. So B100, it can be FAME-based, it can be HVO-based, that is the hydrotreated vegetable oil, or the renewable diesel is quite expensive, and we see it only in small quantities for special type of vessels. But we also have some other B100 products popping up in the Netherlands. They are 50 to 60% FAME plus an unknown biocomponent, meaning that they are not covered by the ISO 217/2024 edition that only covers FAME and HVO. How does it look? B100, the last column is the average tested value. A viscosity of 4.5, that is a normal gas oil, and a density that is 875 up to 290, it's marine gas oil. Extremely low sulfur content, it's like a gasoline. You have to divide the 12 ppm with 10,000 to get the percentage. Very high flash point, that is the case with all biofuels. Low acid number, traces of water, stable, cold flow properties, depending on the recipe, can be high. So we have to consider the trading pattern of the vessel. And sky-high cetane number indicating very good ignition and combustion properties. The entire analysis is based on the EN 14214 standard that is used for all FAME components at the time of blendings, and also for B100, that is 100% FAME. It's very complicated, but this is the testing protocol that we follow to make sure that it is fit for its intended purpose. And switching a little bit from the characteristics to a typical Ultramax bulk carrier, trading 50% in the European Union from 2 EU ports, consuming residual and distillate fuel, and some assumptions. Don't look at the numbers, they fluctuate, but we gave some numbers for the EUAs and the bunker prices, residual MGO and B100. The trial that we did, and the scenarios that a lot of shipping companies are doing today, was titled "How many identical vessels of a 20-vessel fleet can be pooled with a typical Ultramax to achieve compliance per individual ship?" And for the purposes of this drill, we consider that all Ultramaxes have an identical operational profile. The results in terms of the pooling mechanism was that if we just replace the residual fuel with B100, normally it should be better, because if you are burning B100, you will also replace the distillate fuel, but we just stick to the residual. B25 can pull 5 more vessels, B50 can pull 12 more vessels, and B100 can pull 28 more vessels, that is higher than the fleet size. In terms of the annual cost calculation summary from 2026 to 2029, with what we know today, 4 scenarios: fossil fuel, that is do nothing, then the total cost is close to 32 million. B25, the total cost is 31. B50 is 30.7, and B100 is 29 million, because you have a surplus of about 1.3 million. And in this scenario, we do factor in the different prices of the biofuels. When it comes to the challenges, of course, is the availability, something that we can probably discuss during the panel as well. The long-term storage, because the bios in general might degrade over time. We had a real case of a vessel on B100. 30 metric tons were left after 3 months. It oxidized, and the vessel reported some filtration issues, but nothing dramatic. Microbial growth, FAME has an affinity to water, so we need to make sure that the fuel is dry to prevent any microbial infection. The corrosion can be a possible scenario for any grade between the B80. So the operator has to ensure that the components are endurable. We have several tables in place, like in CIMAC, where you can see the interaction of different materials. Lower energy content, it could be up to 7%. The worst case scenario that we have seen after calculating the net calorific value was that the consumption increase was between 4 to 5%. And the cold flow properties, you may need to heat it if you are trading in a cold area, but again has to do with the recipe, because if an expensive methyl ester of rapeseed is used, for example, then the pool point is negative. Exploring the benefits of B100, fuel contamination is unlikely. You don't expect any deleterious materials or organic chlorides like HSFO or VLSFO. No compatibility issues in general. No generated sludge. We don't have any asphaltings to precipitate asphaltenic sludge. No changeover procedure if you use it on a permanent basis. Optional use or no use of separators. There is nothing to clean. There is no water. There is no sludge. There are no metals. No need for use of scrubbers, no need for preheating the distillate to attain the correct injection viscosity, and a simplified cylinder loop oil management. On the regulatory part, of course, FuelEU Maritime, you saw the benefit. ETS, the biofuel fraction, is considered as 0, and the CII improvement, we're talking about a carbon factor that is something like 0.3 versus the traditional 3.11. The key takeaways, it has been an interesting period after 2018. At that time, we were discussing about going to more exotic blends, but nobody thought that the B100 could be the case. So this is a new normal now. Of course, you need to do your homework, risk assessment, fuel utilization plan, technical compatibility, and trading pattern that varies from ship to ship. Use the proper ISO 8217-2024 edition that is the only one that is prescribing biofuels with a proper test late to make sure that no unregulated or untested components have entered this grade. A lot of financial benefits, and looking forward to see what next we can expect from biofuels. Thank you so much.